Hi, Merlin.
Hi.
Hi, Adam. Adam, you look great. Yeah, you guys.
I know.
I just love his prescription shirt. 30 days sober. I gave him a shirt.
You look nice today.
California King.
I would love to have sobriety merch. I know you get a coin, right, or you get some sort of poker chip, right? But what if you got, I don't know. Of course, 1 week in, you're getting like an inflatable alligator. You're getting like something you win for $2
Skee
at a
ball.
carnival.
It's the tickets from Skee Ball. They give you an unlicensed a Stitch plush.
Yeah, sure. Stitch. They can't say
it's just
Stitch,
full of sawdust and rabbit parts.
Yeah, and they give you that size of Tootsie Roll that's only available on the beach. Yeah, but
I've never seen one of the actual coins. But what is the coin made of that you actually get for actually?
I think it's like a big poker chip. It's not a challenge coin, I don't think. Although an alcoholic challenge coin brings up a lot of interesting ideas because you could play quarters with it.
Oh yeah.
I love this idea, I'm very interested. I'm very interested in any way you can, as they say, incentivize people, because everybody you have loss aversion. You'd rather keep $1 than make $2, but I think people are very incentivized, and that could go all the way. Scott, I don't know a lot about this. I don't know. It's none of my business whether any of us have been in AA. It's my understanding the coins start out very modest. It's like you made it through Sunday. You get a Sunday coin.
I honestly don't know. I don't know the way
famous
that it
ones.
works.
I think the 30-day I think is famous, and then of course you go up in years and years and years. What if they gave you a larger and larger coin?
I don't hate that. That's
okay, 2 months in you get a frisbee coin, chip, coin chip.
Yep, coin chip.
Mm-hmm.
And progressively larger pants.
Bigger pants.
Yeah, progressively larger pants, because you can't forget. I mean,
is that what when people show when I see pictures of people smiling next to an extremely large pair of pants, that's them celebrating 1 year of sobriety?
Just look at me now. Okay.
Oh, brother.
1 year, many years ago, Roxana tricked me into buying some fashion pants that were very low drop crotch.
Oh, I remember.
A rainbow stitched. You remember these? Did I wear them in front of you, regrettably?
I'm sorry to interrupt your story, Adam, but I do remember you wearing an extremely. The crotch was lower than the floor somehow.
Yes.
But were they
That's
rappy?
the one.
They weren't rappy.
Not really. They weren't harem pants. They were more like they were sort of rugged, almost like I think they were a cargo even, and a rainbow stitched gusset. And she told me they were cool. We went to a store, and she told me they were cool. Pretty sure she was pulling one over on me, and then
always wearing articles of clothing with implied rainbows, like today.
That's right. It's just kind of it's who I am.
Everybody loves Adam. He does real well.
He
has good days and bad days, but we love him. We love him in his rainbow attire. He had a rainbow in his crotch.
Adam, does your partner pick out a lot of your clothes, or is it?
She does not, but there were a couple of years in there that we were sort of challenging each other in that way.
I see. And
then we set each other free.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I picked this out, for instance.
Yeah. Well, that's a great looking shirt.
Bought it at a store. Huh?
Yeah, no, it's from a catalog, I think, early on. I don't know. Claude got it for me as a birthday present, I think.
I've had mixed experiences with assigned items of any kind. There's like myriad things where somebody set me straight and said, you do look like you live in the woods. Please wear a shirt with buttons and shoes, but sometimes your pants don't have to look like that. Is the kind of thing I've heard my whole life. And somebody will say, I'm assigning you these pants. We're going to go into a retail store and get you big boy pants because you're 30.
Right. There are two levels of intervention. There are two levels.
Pants intervention.
There are two levels of sartorial intervention or even lifestyle intervention when it comes to growing up. The first one is by far the most important, and that one is you need to get your shit together. when I was in college, my last year in college, I slept on a bare mattress with a sleeping bag on top for the whole year. That was all. That was the extent of my decor in my room. That's all I had. I had that, and I had a desk, and I had a computer. And I thought, well, this is how an adult lives. And then, obviously, any person who put their head in the room, they never put their whole body in the room. They would put their head in the room.
I'm just happy to be indoors tonight.
Yeah, and then they would recoil like a dog smelling ammonia, just boo. And they'd say, this isn't how people are supposed to live.
Right.
That's the first level of intervention. The second, more iterative level of intervention is the one I think that Adam, you're describing, where you're at a basic level of success, and then you want to enhance.
Yeah. You want to take a risk and challenge your fashion sensibilities, or somebody has to do it on your behalf, because sometimes, as I'm sure you guys know, we need permission to sort of stretch a little bit in our style choices. Otherwise, you just end up
You need to feel,
wearing something like what
safe.
you are wearing, Scott, instead of something awesome like what I'm wearing.
That's totally right.
Totally true.
Yeah, this is my fashion is based on thinking that I'm going to look like the J. Crew model, and then it's just still me when I put the shirt on.
all you need is like a Best Buy badge. The and not to be serious, but I do feel like amidst these troubling times, when somebody gives you a note on what you are doing, how you could be better, in some ways I know this is true, even though I don't always hew to it, is I feel like they're saying, I believe in you enough that you could be better, and I love you enough that I would like to see you be better. But that has not always been the case, and I sometimes find it a little insulting when people try to assign me pants, prescription or otherwise. but I do feel like that is the thing, and so you have to be somewhat vulnerable and open to that. But at a certain point, you also do need to kind of cut it off, because pretty soon you're basically like a big Barbie doll. You become somebody's project.
Yeah. I've seen those. I've seen those, specifically men, where their wife will end up just dressing them up like an accessory to her.
Pleated shorts, But the give me a second. Edit this out. Let me think a second. Hang on. No, I'm serious. Guys.
Here it comes.
Boys.
Here it comes.
Guys, I was up until 1 last night watching a musical. I'm very tired.
Yeah, no, you're
was it
closing
great?
you're closing your eyes like you speak like somebody who's only good at chess. and it's showing me that your brain is working hard right now, because you were up late last night watching your fella and his friends sing and dance on stage. I haven't seen it. I haven't heard a single song from it.
Please don't. Please.
No,
Me
I-
either.
Can we not?
I
I'm
prefer not to. No, I'm never going.
You guys want to talk about
I'm
the
never
Smiths?
going to-
Do you guys like the Smiths? Want me to defend that too? Is that what I'm being called to
yeah.
do?
No,
But
there's nothing wrong
no,
with yeah.
Okay, there's an episode of the TV program Sherlock. In the very first episode, no spoilers to this, but Sherlock notices something about his cab driver, because he's always noticing things, which is that the cab driver has a small dab of shaving cream. God, I think about this 5 times every fucking day. He has a dab of shaving cream right here. All you need to know is that based on that and some other things, Sherlock is able to infer that he does not have someone in his life who loves him to tell him he has fucking shaving
yeah.
cream on his neck.
Yeah.
And I think all the time about what people aren't telling me that I know I don't want to know, and how it proves that they don't love me.
It hurts. I always wanna
Guys,
know
you
what
get one. You get one. You each get one. You could tell me one fucking shaving cream dab today, and that's all I can handle. And please be kind, because I'm very vulnerable. What do I need to change? Be honest. Because I'm gonna do it for you guys. Believe me, I got a whole.
you gotta.
I'm ready.
You gotta
You
list.
can't. You guys won't be able to see mine, but the thing I notice about myself most often, that I think has probably been there for a week before I've noticed it myself, is one thick hair growing out of the tip of my nose.
Oh,
That-
Jesus.
Why
don't
did
do
nobody
this.
look
If
close?
only it were one. I did this yesterday, and I thought, what is happening up there? And what will this tell Sherlock about me? I mean, I have like a black forest up there, and I deal with my ears. Woof.
Yeah, I've got a great, really. I don't have the thick. I have the very thin version, which is a blessing and a curse because on the one hand you can't see it, but on the other hand, by the time you see it, it is 4 inches long, and it's coming out of your ear like a poltergeist checking to see if the coast is clear.
I just noticed this one this morning. Yeah,
You got an eyebrow?
There.
Do you remember?
It's okay. Oh, it's
Do you
fine. You just
remember
you look like you're in a fucking Flash Gordon. That's all good. Don't worry.
Do you
I look like I'm
remember
in Dune?
the mid-century Buddhist scholar D.T. Suzuki? Mm-hmm. Do you remember his eyebrows?
No.
Oh, he
fucking
had.
mess. A wreck.
God, he had the most wonderful eyebrows. They were like a horned owl. They were so long, and they stuck. And he wore glasses too. I don't know how he did both. He must have had custom eyewear that kind of dipped below his eyebrows to allow his brows to just. They shot out from his face like they were trying to escape his thoughts. It was.
Oh man, that's the middle path, baby.
Some old men, when they do get old, your hair gets weird. Your gray hair is essentially more. It's less supple, right? It's more sticky outy.
Like wiry,
So
yeah.
It's more wiry. So we have just more wiry shit coming out of our faces and our bodies. Some guys can leverage it and do amazing things. D.T. Suzuki increased his apparent wisdom by virtue of those 4-inch eyebrows. It was like
that's so fucking baller.
Wisdom virility. Just it was so cool.
So I have a question, and it's not racist, but this is a question directed at Scott. Well, actually, both of you, because I know you both studied a lot about Asia in your past, in your scholarship, in your Christian colleges, where you slept on a fucking mat. There was a Muni driver on the streetcar line years back, and there's a couple really distinctive things about him. One was that he had an improbably large mole on his face, like the size of a 30-day coin, and it had approximately 6 very, very, very distractingly long hairs coming out of him.
Yeah.
And it kind of looked like, I don't know, if you pulled it, he would say "I love you" or something. He had so many of them, and once you see that, you start noticing it. I've heard it said that that's considered good luck. You don't cut those hairs. Now, you guys are Asiaphiles. Is there anything like that in your life where you think, "Oh, this is I'm not going to touch why would you fuck with this perfection?" 30 days. You have anything like that? I'm superstitious.
Can I pass?
Sure. We'll come back to you. Take a minute. I took a minute. You take it.
Adam wants to pass because he's got so many.
Yeah, I don't
Let me get my journal.
want to show off.
Yeah. I have much more superstition and magical thinking in my life, and that indicates that I feel like people probably don't love me. Oh, trust me to say, just knock it off.
There's
It's
nothing
okay.
there's nothing on my body that could be considered talismanic in any way. There are no portents on my torso. I have nothing that's going to predict the future, good or bad. It's all just kind of crummy and starting to sag.
Do you ever look at yourself naked in a mirror these days?
Oh yeah, of course,
Okay.
every day.
Oh, that's like kind of your thing. It's like you can't.
But like look at yourself or like look at yourself.
No, I mean like Nietzsche, like the mirror glances back at you
Okay.
kind of shit. Because like I don't. We've talked about mirrors on here before. In many instances, Adam has mirrors for his feng shui. We've talked about all kinds of things with mirrors, but like there's not a lot I feel like there's not a lot that I can improve, and so I would just choose to avoid it. I mean,
Oh, that's great.
but like the
That's
lack
great
of, but as
practice.
far as the portents, Scott, for me, it's probably the increasing lack of symmetry in my body and in my life, where like, and I'm becoming more and more sort of angular or flabby in a strange way, and I don't know if you could tell somebody's fortune with my body, but I think it wouldn't be good. I think it would be a lot of you're going to meet a tall person with dark hair, has a vowel in their name, and they're way younger and better looking than you. This I can
Yeah.
assure you.
That's pretty easy to foretell.
Mm-hmm.
I remember so many times when I've gone camping or when I've gone away for a while and haven't even thought about it, but then seen my reflection in the mirror and realized how happy I was that availability wasn't there for a few days. It felt so good not to have to see myself or not to have to think about the dumb back of my head, which is a weird shape. For days, I love that freedom, and often I never really realized I had that freedom until I've come back and I'm staring at my man boobs in a mirror.
I did the opposite of what you just described, which is that I ordered a bodysuit from Japan with dots on it.
Oh, okay.
Honey,
it's for green screen.
Circus?
It's for green
circus
screen.
costume with a ping pong balls?
It
What are
wasn't
you
green
talking
screen. It was purely it had single like a one purpose, and that's to see your imperfections.
It's for me. It's not for my art.
It's a black bodysuit, skin tight, that's covered in QR codes, and you scan yourself with an app, and it shows you every possible way you like your body kind of looks like Danny DeVito in the Penguin in the Penguin, as the Penguin. And I did, and it wasn't fun, but it was kind of fun, but it wasn't fun. I'll show you guys. I'll put it.
I think it's very important we all get these. Very soon,
it's gonna be right,
start
like a before and after
America.
kind of like.
Yeah.
You'll see it.
One just quick, so I can really kind of take in my mental image of this. You bought a bodysuit and it's black, and it's covered in literal QR codes.
I think so.
Okay, or some sort of patterned thing that you can scan or whatever. And those were all over the body, or were they on 10 or 11 kind of essential components?
All over the body, and what you do is you set up the phone, and then you do a 360, and it scans your entire body, turns you into a badly misshapen 3D model of yourself, with everything just like, like imagine how you guys would. Probably different than I look, but
I'm imagining it's like every time I try to assemble IKEA furniture, and with their weird instructions, or a shelf, and like, oh, I didn't realize the shelf that this side was upside down, or now I can't get the shelf. Is it kind of like that? Or are you kind of like a broken Lego man, sort of?
No, it's very cohesive. It's all one lump of human. It's not broken apart or anything. But you're like, who is that? Because that's not me. The app got it wrong.
Okay, and so then
data don't lie, guys.
Data don't lie.
The app will take what it's created of you, its picture of you, and then it will, as a service, show you where you could improve. Is this essentially like a self-improvement product? Is this some sort
not
of
really?
like,
no, it's
flagellation.
It was. It's there's a Japanese clothing company called Zozo or something. Anyway, they have this app, and it's for. The idea was that you could scan yourself and then get bespoke clothes made, like a bespoke T-shirt.
I see.
Okay.
I happen to have done this one time.
Okay. It's like a Warby Parker try-on thing, but it's for what I'm working with. Okay.
It's right. That's right. And so I scanned myself. I got the T-shirt, the black T-shirt, which is the simplest item of clothing to make for this purpose. And they got it wildly wrong. They got it. I got a maternity T-shirt. It was like twice as wide as I am. Yeah.
It was like you did Warby Parker, and you said, these are Warby Parker, for example. Thank you, Adam.
Well,
but then it arrives, and it's like those glasses you wear in Times Square.
Giant,
or New Year's Eve with the zeros. Okay.
Like, yeah.
Well, you're
2008.
I'm pretty sure this isn't what I ordered.
I'm sure if you tried it on in Japan, it would have fit because it's metric.
That's the problem. It's that space shuttle problem all over again. Yeah. Also, I think their water goes a different way down the toilet, but I'm not sure. That's really confusing.
Boy, I'm fascinated by that. Why does my T-shirt look like an Aztec pyramid?
Data.
Data.
Data don't lie, bitch.
Big data. Real big data.
Adam, but important question, and I really hope I know the answer to this. Do you still have the suit?
Yeah, you bet I do.
It's really important.
Want me to send
it's
it to
really
you?
important.
Try it on?
It's going to be so hard to photograph you because it keeps thinking you're a website. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
It keeps taking you to the Casual Corner website or whatever.
Linens and things.
Yeah, or like, for men of our age, Lane Bryant, like working wear for the aging lady.
Oh, I am jealous of fashion that's primarily targeted to women of a certain age, because it's so based on drape and drapery and draping and not contour and hugging, and it just looks lovely. It looks like it comes with its own dinner party. I love the
patterns,
I love to
the
swish
flow, the
around.
materials.
Yeah, the patterns.
And it was
look
always
lovely.
it always hung like Golden Girls years. Dorothy would wear the most
I
magnificent.
cannot
Absolutely.
They would hang from
fucking.
the
I was
shoulders.
trying to be polite and wait, and I was about to say, "Make me Maud," because
Yeah.
she kind of dresses like Dr. Zayas, but looks really fucking cool. She's tall.
Yeah.
She's got that Dr. Zayas jacket she's always wearing. Would you consider, Scott? Does that count as drapery?
Oh, I think anything B. Arthur puts on immediately counts as
I
drapery.
would ruin her.
She had the most wonderful approach to clothes. Her shoulders alone, you couldn't QR fucking scan those shoulders. There's
Unscannable,
way
sorry.
too much structure.
404 casual quarter not found.
She was one of those people who was both extremely non-sexual and therefore attractive.
She's so unhavable, and she's one of those women. Like we were watching the show on Hulu called Mrs. America, which is kind of a fun sort of history of trying to get the ERA passed in the 70s, and it brought back all of these memories of all the women who terrified me as a child, as a man in Ohio. I found Maude so intimidating, which made me want her even more.
Yeah,
Bill Macy, man, lucky Bill Macy.
That era of TV shows had some really good characters and some strong women.
We were watching it as a family, and I had this moment just come rushing back to me. A recent Pew survey reveals that I was the least intelligent person at my college. So this is something I now know with data, which we know don't lie. And I had this awesome class, a psychology class called Gender Roles. And it was one of those things that just twist your melon, like when you learn about like the ethno-methodological approach to gender and all of this stuff. And anyhow, it just, you just talk. It's a small class, small college. And there was a woman in there who was, I don't know if she had some sort of an issue, but she was approximately 3.5 feet tall. And she had teeth like a wild animal. And she was so goddamn smart. And I was so goddamn stupid. And do you understand, like, height-wise, I'm not a tall man, but, like, we're talking about a serious differential. And I have a specific recollection one day of saying, yeah, I mean, Equal Rights Amendment, like, what's up with that? And I have such a clear recollection of her looking up at me. She pauses, I think, for a second to say, is it worth my breath to even talk to this troglodyte? And she said, tell me which part of insert word for word recitation of the Equal Rights Amendment don't you agree with? And I went, bow, don't bite. Fucking idiot. So fucking stupid. If I had a bodysuit, man.
Oh, a bodysuit would solve everything. I've said.
Do you want tighter? Or do you want drapery? Because I go back and forth with the rise problem. I have a lot of rise problems. I don't like to talk about this because this is really cuts close to home. But I have I'm gifted, but rise wise, I need a much smaller rise. And also I'm working with this increasingly, and I have a belt, so I got to do a lot of like organizing. A lot of organizing down here, and I can't find the right rise. I think I might need Britney Spears pants. Have we talked about this? Mm-hmm. We talked about this. The tiny zippers, those kinds of pants.
What? No, I don't know what that is.
Well, when the rise is essentially I rise. It's like your President
that.
Johnson area. Like how much up high does it go to where, of course, as we all know, it's always funny to do this, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I need to accommodate this area, and I don't think that's a thing that they measure or cut for. If I went into a store and said, please help me work with my rise, I think they put me in a QR suit and say, thank you for your service. I hate clothes. God damn it. But I really hate being naked even more.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a necessary evil. We've never done and I don't think we've much talked about doing merchandise, like anything clothing or otherwise. And I'm wondering if we could, and whether we could add something additional to it, like a specified cut or fit that nobody else is doing. None of the startups are doing. None of the other podcasts are doing. Sort of a branded.
You're saying you got a podcast or whatever, you want to make a little dough, you go to Cotton Bureau and you sell a shirt. And it's in small, medium, large, XL. Like you get the different sizes of shirt. You're saying, we're going to give you, we have a unique, as Scott would say from his Christian college training, we have a unique offering for you. Also, maybe it's got a treat on it or some kind of some flair, if you like. That could be a chip. It could be 2 chips. Or it could be that we give you the accommodating rise that you only get from a Japanese QR suit. Something where it's ours, but it's a twist and it's definitely a business.
What if the rise was in the bottom of the shirt or the neckline could be too high or too low? I'm saying like what our opportunity to brand this is not necessarily in the graphic imagery on it, but in the shape or misshape of the clothing item itself.
Yeah, right. So for example, a regular podcast will do something like an athletic cut. If you look at the other side of the spectrum, a fashion pant from 6 years ago would have had a drop crotch.
Or like Jenko jeans, like jokey jeans, or like, to quote a podcast that I like a lot, like when you're making a character in a video game, no middle sliders. Like our entire offering is going to be the expression of extremity for what you're working with in some ways, right? we don't really have sizes so much as aspirations.
Right.
And then we give you something that it's not going to have like an Apple logo on it or something, but it will be something that's very upsetting to the people that you're with because of how awkward it would be to just see you all the time wearing that.
Well, let's think about what are those parts that would be enhanced by extremely growing or shrinking their size. I remember when I went with you guys to MoMA in New York, and we went to the Muji store. They had a Muji at the MoMA. And I remember for the first time I tried on a shirt, and I said, Adam, what do you think? And you said, I forget what you said, but you're like, your arms don't even register in the sleeves of that shirt. And that was the first time in my life I had ever really thought like, oh, I need to check how my arms look in it. And I'm glad I did because it was like a truck with a blown tire. It was flapping around.
That's extremely rude of me to have said that. No, I don't know what I meant. I don't know what I could have meant, but it sounds like
you were just saying,
you need to hear it, Adam. Don't apologize.
You were being very, very
saying
kind.
I love you. When you say your arms don't register, you're saying I love you.
I think
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. This is okay. Now I'm getting somewhere in my brain. What you were doing was not in any way criticizing me or my body, eminently criticizable body. You didn't do it. What you did instead was criticize the arms. You took a look at the arms and you said, those arms are bullshit. They're way too flappy. They're way too wide. So what kind of article of clothing can we give to people where the criticism has nothing to do with the body inside, but everything to do with the make or structure of the material? Do you know what I'm?
Oh yeah, draw attention to the bullshittiness of the clothes, which by contrast makes the body look even better.
Talking about
Is that what you're saying?
We've taken it from arms that don't register to now these are statement arms, right? Or like for example, let's say you go out and get a fucking tattoo, and suddenly now you're buying clothing so people can see your shitty tattoo, or you get your tramp stamp pants. That feels good to say. That's a good mouthfeel.
It sure
you get your or like let's say, I'm not saying this is us. Can I really just stipulate? Let's say you love your midsection, and so you wear like a Nike half shirt or something like that.
Right.
But it's something where we're either going to highlight or super highlight your response to society about your butt. Or you could get a shirt that's just extraordinarily tight here and extraordinarily blousy here, and we call that mushrooming. Because it's saying, yeah, this is what I'm working with. You want to know what's under here? Get to know me. Bring me a chip.
Something I've never seen is super long elbow fabric, but the rest of the sleeve maybe fits well.
Okay.
So,
I'm not even close. I would. So it basically becomes like an elbow gusset. It's an inbuilt.
Yeah.
But you're having
Yeah,
fun with it.
we don't
it
know
comes
what
down
the
like an
purpose
elephant's
of it
trunk.
might be, but it's something. It's something.
Yeah.
It's for, squirreling nuts away or something in your elbow
Well,
pad.
sometimes you make a, I wouldn't call it a mistake. You make something
Opportunity.
differently from everything else, and you don't even know how it's going to be used until it gets into the right hand.
It's the
until it gets onto
penicillin.
the right
It's
elbow.
the penicillin of menswear. We just discovered this. We don't know what to do with it, but it might be cool.
Here, we're just going to put it out there, and somebody's going to know what to do with extremely long cone-shaped fabric sticking out of an elbow.
My concern in a lot of this is I'm not worried about whether people will or won't buy it. I just want to do the right thing. My concern is it's to have this work to the level of artfulness that we would like could be extremely costly. Like, I don't know, maybe we start out, maybe our proof of concept is we create one unique look as a pilot project, right? Is there anything that would look really bad on everyone that would tell us what kind of interest is out there for alcohol chip nipples or chiplets as we call them?
Well, chipples are nice
You know,
because
sir, here's your 60-day pin. Thank you for your service.
yeah,
Like Genoa salamis.
it's nice because you can detach it and give it to somebody else to congratulate them on their accomplishment.
Like a popsicle or communion bread?
I was thinking more like Velcro darts. So they're just kind of stuck to your body.
Darts are for throwing or darts for gathering?
Darts for throwing. You know how you get
Oh,
those little
okay.
balls, the Velcro balls that you throw at the board and they
Yeah.
stick without being needles. You know, you have a couple. Let's say you have 4 or 5 variously sized. I'm not gonna call them sobriety chips, but just call them reward chips.
Has anybody ever made Velcro clothing? By which I mean, I know,
yeah.
like I've probably got Velcro in here somewhere. I don't know. I
Well,
mean, I've got
Velcro-
Velcro. But what if it was
Velcro
made
is-
entirely out of the hook or the loop, and you can just have ad hoc whatever you want on your shirt,
Oh, that's
and you can
fun.
also like the Disneyland pins. You go and you give it to a friend, and you put it on their shirt. Now you're my friend. Velcro
It's
shirt.
not a utility belt; it's a utility torso.
It's a utility lifestyle.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
you don't need a wallet anymore.
You don't need a wallet. You put your money right on there. I got my ID.
Individual
I
belt.
got my ID. Didn't you used to have a fanny pack? Shut up.
Oh, you'll never lose your family.
You'll never get a family. I do. Actually, I'm good.
I mean, I love the concept because we're limited by the stuff that we can carry in our pockets, right? Like my
So limited.
pockets, and I know this about you guys without ever having asked you this question. I know that you two both put your keys, your wallet, and your phone in the same pocket every day, and you subconsciously check for it when you get up or leave the room or go outside. I have just had this phenomenon where, I realize my back right pocket has been empty up until March, and now it's my mask pocket. So that's where my mask goes. But still, I'm limited, right, by
Right.
what I can carry in my pockets. What do you guys do when it comes to everyday items that you take around with you? I'm assuming. No, I was just gonna say I assume you guys carry a wallet, but it's 2020 and
Where am I going to
you're
take it?
free. What do you? Where do you carry wallets? Do you guys have wallets?
I
mean,
do. I carry a wallet
yeah.
with a zippy on it, so nothing falls out. It's very precious stuff. I have some tokens in there, some like mementos,
Guitar
not
picks,
tokens like Chuck
guitar
E. Cheese.
picks,
I'm not a
Imodium.
child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's
The
the thing.
zippies, but I've always been a zip wallet guy.
Thought on this, just to take it back a little bit. So I think, if I understand correctly, at this point, we're going to make something very hideous and probably oversized and too tight at the same time. We'll let the engineers figure that out. The shirt will be made of Velcro. Everything in your wallet pretty much can be represented electronically, right? So that could be your money, it could be your ID, it could be your like your ATM card or similar. All of those things strikes me, and I haven't worked out the security implications of this, but it strikes me that all of those could be QR codes.
Oh,
Sure.
This is me. This is
Right.
This is
Okay.
me
Okay.
right
So
here.
you as long as you have a Velcroable QR code representing every possible item that you might
sure,
need to
that way it
identify
saves
or
us
pay
dough.
with.
It saves us dough having to personally, with our own fingers, embroider a QR code on there for your particular money that you will have
Sure.
for just a little while. You could Velcro that on. But on the other hand, the Japanese are way ahead of us. Is there anything that we can learn to make a QR code suit in the Japanese style that is made of Velcro, oversized and too tight? But there's not, when you say size, I mean, it's a misnomer. It's really more of an emotion. What emotion do you want? You know what I'm saying? Like, sizes get costly, but like, there are things we can do where we just slap some fucking Velcro on there and Bob's your uncle.
I like it. We don't even have to put our logo on it. We just put a QR code that takes somebody to our website. Or our
It brings up a JPEG, on the screen that you have on your hat.
The nice thing about
Right.
this item is that it's so distinctive that it's almost like there's no logo required, no branding.
What are you
needed.
going to copy about it? I mean, good luck.
No one would rip this idea. Yeah, they wouldn't. Nobody would buy it either. That's the fun part.
That's the beauty part.
Maybe look, we're looking at this simultaneously from a number of different angles. We're trying to solve a number of different problems, and that's great. One of the things that we'd be dependent upon in this case would be manufacturing, textiles, all that work involves in the actual sewing, and I don't know, partnering with the garment industry just seems like a tough thing to do in this difficult time. What if we take a ready-made object and we instantly turn it into an article of clothing? And by that I mean Flavor Flav style, large Velcro dartboard worn around the neck, covered with QR codes, but also Velcro, so that if
And the ball, you
be-
store the balls on your back or wherever.
well, you put
Somebody
them
come
wherever.
up behind you, grab a ball, throw it at a Velcro ball.
The size of the board shows how long you've been sober.
Oh, it could
But
be
you
a sandwich board type of a thing with suspenders over the shoulders, one board on the front, one board
I
on the
love
back. Is that where?
I think that's
I think that's fantastic.
I feel like there's really only, I'm not proud to admit this, there's really only one thing in my life that I always have way too much of: Amazon boxes. I don't know what to do with them. I feel bad throwing them away. Is there a way that we could reach some of our emotional goals with this by turning cardboard boxes into clothing in a fashionable, Velcro-oriented, alcoholic way? Because, I mean, the thing is, we don't have the seed money we used to have on this program. It's amidst these challenging
Yeah.
times. But, just a way that, like, you're working from home, so you want to have something kind of roomy. So maybe you get like an A2 or whatever it's called size box. But
sure.
Maybe that could be your phone screen hat. And
Well,
it's
does
held on with
cardboard-
rubber bands or silicone bands. Let's be honest.
Cardboard can drape if it's big enough.
Yeah, I mean, everything's food if you're hungry enough.
So
I'm just. You know what? Here's the thing. Ars gratia ars. Okay, art for art's sake is what we're making here. We're making clothing for art's sakes here, and no one's going to buy it. So I feel like whatever we put out is something that. Geez, I don't know. Maybe we should just sell T-shirts.
This has been You Look Nice Today.
Telephone King.
Thank you.